Ravel Morrison scores a banger goal, and Steve McClaren must win us this Gold Cup into 2025.
Jamaica have a lifeline. How about this?
They got Gunnaz podcast.
If you're new to the channel, this is the Gunnaz podcast, and I am your host, Dicanio, an Arsenal fan that covers everything Reggae Boys and local football. If you find that you enjoy the content that I do here, remember to smash that like button. And also for the 65.2% of people that keep watching the videos on this channel and are not yet subscribed, what are you waiting on? What is the point of coming and watching 2, 3, 4 videos a month and you're not hitting the subscribe button? So if you are one of those people who continue to watch the channel and are not hitting that subscribe button, that is actually free to do. Just go ahead right now and hit that subscribe button and to join the Gunnaz community. And remember, every single video I do on this channel must get to 100 likes. So just go ahead and smash that like button. Now in this video, I'll be talking about Steve McClaren and his ambitions with the Reggae Boys this summer, specifically in the Gold Cup. And also, I'll be speaking a bit about Ravel Morrison. Now, people, this summer campaign is going to be hectic as Steve McClaren will have a lot on his plate. We have the Unity Cup in May, World Cup qualifiers in June, and then the Gold Cup that starts in June and ends in July. Now, the Unity Cup will be played in London at the GTEC Stadium, which is the home ground of Brentford Football Club. So hopefully we can see the best performance from Ethan Pinnock, since he will be playing on a turf and in a ground that he knows well. The first game is set to be played on the 27th against Trinidad and Tobago, with the winner of that game playing against the winner of the game between Nigeria and Ghana, while the losers of each game will go against each other in a third place game, with both games set to play on the 31st of May. Now, people, that is not something that we do see a lot, so it will be very interesting to kick off our summer in that friendly tournament. Making the final is crucial just because the semi-final is against Trinidad, and we must not lose to Trinidad in any setting. But yeah, whatever happens in the final, I really don't care for that. Hopefully we can win. That would really be a statement win, and it will have a whole lot of eyes on Jamaica if we can win that tournament, just because it's being held in England, right? Now, after that tournament in England, the Reggae Boys will be heading back to the island to prepare for our qualifiers game against the British Virgin Islands away from home on the 7th of June, then return to the island to face Guatemala at the National Stadium in what is expected to be a group decider, and a game that will be very crucial in every regard, not only for our progression into the final stages of the World Cup qualifiers, but also to maintain our ranking over Honduras, who are currently very, very close to us. And that ranking is important because it does affect how we are seeded for the World Cup qualifiers final stage. Now, exactly 9 days after we do play Guatemala at home for the World Cup qualifier, they will be playing us again in the Gold Cup, as we were drawn in a group with them that also has Panama and Guadeloupe. We will play against Guadeloupe on the 20th and then face off against Panama on the 24th, which is expected to be the group decider to see who tops that group in Gold Cup Group C. Now, people, I don't mind the draw, and I think that we've gotten one of the easier groups. The last time that we did play Panama was in the Nations League third place game, where we did manage to beat them. So I'm confident in facing Panama. And all in all, I believe that we should advance to the knockout rounds. And then once it gets there, it's just a matter of who is the better team on the day. So hopefully after that Unity Cup, the World Cup qualifiers, and the group stages of the Gold Cup, that the team is in good standing, injury-free, and has built some form of chemistry that would allow Jamaican fans to be optimistic going into those knockout rounds of the Gold Cup. I also wanted to do a predicted squad, but I'll save that for after the Unity Cup games. It had been said recently by Steve McClaren that there are about 6 players awaiting passports. And given that those games in the Unity Cup are friendlies, I do expect to see some of those players there. So I think that after seeing those players in the Unity Cup, I will be better able to judge the pool of players that Jamaica does have at our disposal, and then I'll be able to give you guys the squad that I will be expecting for both the World Cup qualifiers and in the future, the Gold Cup. What I can say though is that I do want to see some players getting integrated from the Unity Cup stage. And if they are not integrated, then I think we can just call it quits on their future with the Reggae Boys under this coach. The first player is actually a fan favorite, that is Ravel Morrison. Now, Ravel has scored 2 goals and 2 assists for Jamaica, and ever since the arrival of coach Punk Grimmy, he has been phased out of the national setup. However, since Steve McClaren's time as the Reggae Boys head coach, he has gotten selected once, and that was as a replacement for another player that was initially selected and could not play. He was also an unused sub in that game against the United States in our 4-2 defeat last year. Since then, he has not been selected. Now, the fans have called for him, and Steve McClaren has said in the past that the league that he plays in does not matter if he can help the team. However, it seems as if Steve McClaren does not feel that he can help the team. I have made a video recently about Ravel Morrison's commitment, as it was reported that he got the chance to play in the championship after getting offers from teams in that division. However, nothing materialized, which forced me to ask the question if Ravel Morrison is still serious about football, and does he really want to have a meaningful impact on the sport and his career instead of just being known as the star that never made it. Honestly, I don't think there is any other way for Ravel to revive his career other than at the international level. There's nothing that he can win at club level that will earn him any respect now compared to winning a Gold Cup, a Nations League with Jamaica, or even qualifying for the next World Cup with Jamaica alongside stars like Mason Greenwood and Leon Bailey. Especially in England, where he really does call his home, he would gain so much respect there if he was able to achieve this with Jamaica. He recently was back on the score sheet, scoring another banger as usual for his club Precision FC, who plays in the second division of the United Arab Emirates. Now, that's a league where stats are not being tracked and recorded by any real sports app in the world. So we don't really know what his stats are like. However, we do know that he has scored some goals, and Wikipedia claims that he has 3 goals in 9 appearances this season. Now, if that is true, I would say he could definitely add something to the national team, but I'm a bit hesitant for him to be starting games, as he'd only played 9 games this season. So if he's only played 9 games, that doesn't scream to me as someone who is very fit. So with all that said, I think it would be very interesting if Ravel was to be added into the squad this summer. The next name on the list is Jonathan Russell, who has been rumored to have rejected a call up last window, but I think it was mainly down to him not being selected in the official roster and then being called late on when a player pulled out, which meant his club had the power, right, whether they wanted to let him go or they did not. Now, if that is the case, I do not blame the club, right, or John Russell, because he has constantly been overlooked by Steve McClaren, despite him being our best performing midfielder at club level by a country mile this season. And even when he was selected, I think for the first ever squad that Steve McClaren selected, he just did not play. So hopefully Steve realizes this time around that he is the truth, right? And that he can showcase his talent that I know he has, and that he has proven to us that he has if he is selected by Steve McClaren. With that said, I'm inclined to share with you my midfield selection going forward. I would go for Isaac Hayden, Jonathan Russell, Casey Palmer, Louis Baker, Ravel Morrison, and Bobby Reid. That is 6 midfielders. Tariq Maggie's days are over, in my opinion, especially when it comes to the national team. Karen Anderson has just not shown enough, plus he's not playing in his natural position consistently. At Charlton, he has been playing on the wing, and if we're going to put him in the team to play on the wing, we do have too many wingers that are better than him at that position. So I think Karen Anderson is just not in the midfield shout right now. It might change, you never know. And then Anglin, who has been a regular in recent times, but I just don't think he's better than any of those 6 names that I mentioned before. So yeah, that is it for this video, folks. Share your thoughts below in the comment section. Let me know what you guys are thinking. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace. Today's video sponsor is Achieve Test Prep. There are many healthcare professionals who would love to get their RN, and due to many reasons, especially them not having time to do so, they never get the chance to achieve that goal. But just like in football, having the right game plan makes all the difference. And today's video sponsors, Achieve Test Prep, helps you save time and money on your degree by letting you test out college courses with expert level prep and support to help you pass your NCLEX through credit by exam. With a 93% success rate and an A rating from the Better Business Bureau, it's a shortcut to getting your RN or BSN. Whether it's you, your spouse, or your kids just looking to level up, Achieve Test Prep gives your whole team tools to win. If you're interested in getting more information about their bridge programs, click the link below in the description to achieve with Achieve.
Jamaica have a lifeline. How about this?
They got Gunnaz podcast.